All right, today we're going to go over this heeled rotary grinder. This is a model 261. We changed the chuck on it. We put the 16-inch chuck on it. So that means we had the entire upper part of it all in pieces, and we cleaned everything up nice, and so it's going to be nice for you. We also got everything functioning properly on it. A lot goes into this machine, so you know, it is what it is. So anyway, what we got going right now is the chuck is turning and the table is going back and forth. You've got these two table dogs here. They're adjustable. They can slide left, they can slide right. You can lift the dog up by turning this little pin so that it jumps over that. Machine is currently wired for 440 volts. I don't know if I said that already. It's finishing up a grinding cycle right now. Going over to the dressing portion. Just changed its own feed rate, slowed itself down to a dressing feed rate. The diamond is underneath the wheel right now, dressing the wheel. And then we're going to continue on and park. So this whole dog here, this whole arrangement has a lot of adjustability. There's two different cams on there that have to hit these two rocker switches in the back here, which in turn trigger solenoid valves and switches down below. But anytime this is down, you are in a dressing mode, and to get out of it, this rear one has to be knocked down, and these are made, the cams, in such a way that one won't get in the way of the other, but you have to start the cycle now. We've already dressed the wheel, we've put our new parts on the chuck, and now we're coming in. Over the workpiece, over the work chuck with the wheel, and you have, like I said, a lot of adjustment where you want this to start. Now we go to the table speed, and this is going to start reversing at whatever setting you have there, and each time it reverses, we're feeding here. The amount that this is feeding is adjusted by this lever on the corner here. Goes from 0 to 6. You have a fine feed that you can set with this inner dial. There's an arrow here right next to the final size 0, and a vernier type scale where you could set it to be 2/10, 3/10 off of 0. You also have your little picker there to increment it in. You have your chuck. You have different speeds. It's a variable speed chuck, but it's done hydraulically. You've got your off position, your hand position, meaning on by hand and always on, and the center position will be automatic. So this thing has two grinding modes. Right now we're in just a regular standard mode. What this machine has, it has as a full cycle, it has a fine feed, it has a micro feed, and it has a spark out. And then after the spark out, it goes over to the diamond and dresses a wheel, and then comes to a rest. You have a timer down here to set how long you spark out across your part before you move off the part and go under the diamond. But in the manual mode like we have it right now, this is just going to feed down until it gets to 0. So right now it's gotten to the little arrow that I set for my fine feed, and each time it reverses, you can see that it's moving a very little bit, like maybe 1 or 2/10. And it's going to go like that right down to 0, and then stop feeding altogether. Now nothing's going to happen in the manual mode, or if you have the size control mode shut off, it's just going to keep going back and forth until you stop it. So to stop it, you'd have to take this lever here and push it this way, which raises this up, which pushes up on this dog so it misses that reversal, and we get into the dressing cam there. Now, the dressing cam is what's working right now. This knob I'm shutting off here says table speed dress. When this is pushed down by that cam, you're in the dressing speed. A valve has been triggered so that you're now controlling the cylinder that moves this table with this valve right here. You can make that whatever speed you want for dressing the wheel. And it's going to go like that right off the diamond, right off the wheel until it parks itself. I'll speed this up a little bit. So now it's just going to sit there until you've loaded up new parts, turned on your nutrifier. This is the second video we made in a row because we messed up the first one. I don't know if I went through this yet. Anyway, this is the nutrifier. You have full, you have release, you have residual, you have variable where you go up and down with your arrows. So you want to make sure you have this on. And you see your little black lines going across and telling you that this thing is on there. Okay, and right over here is your diamond holder. So what you need to have for this is a holder that goes in this little triangular thing, and you got two 5/8 nuts back here. You got to loosen this little clamp, put it in there, tighten it up, and in that will be a hole with your single point or cluster diamond to dress this wheel with. Now you have a knob here that you can move it out of the way just enough, or you put it all the way the other way, and it's touching the wheel. All your actual increments or how much you feed the diamond into the wheel is done, I believe, with the hand wheel. I'm not that familiar, so I'm telling you what I think I know. So this does very little bit of movement. It rocks this, it lets it touch the wheel or not touch the wheel, or somewhere in between, but most of your adjustment is going to be going up and down with your hand wheel. So you've got to wrap it up. You want to pull this fine feed knob out when you go up, and you also have it down, and you can go slow with it down if you want, or so you don't hit your part. And I would say get closer and you use the hand wheel by hand. This is a fine feed dial. You can change where your point of spark out is, or where zero is with that. And let's see what else. So, all right, so now we're going to show you an automatic cycle. So now we're feeding down to the 0 mark. Once we get to where the 0 is, that's actually where the fine feed is going to start. So now we're feeding with the fine feed. Got to have the size thing turned on. And when it gets to a certain point on the dial there, just before 0, it's going to go into what they call the micro feed, and then it's going to start. I just heard the relay click in the cabinet, which is a sign, an indicator for that. So right now we're doing just empty spark out passes, which you set with this timer down here, how many you want it done. Once it's past its time, you switch to the opposite direction. And you go into your dressing speed. Right now the diamond is going off the wheel, and then that goes up. And that's it. Thank you.